I'm Kaszina, and I'd like to talk to you today about one big mistake that women make in marriage, and it may not be what you think. The big mistake that women make in marriage and in their relationships generally is they're too nice. We are, aren't we? We are too nice. We spend our time pleasing people, going the extra mile for people, doing everything we can for people, and when things annoy us, what do? We stifle it. We keep it inside because we're nice. And what happens when we're so nice for a long time? Eventually, frustrations build up and you either explode, or you cry, or you withdraw, or you eat chocolate, or maybe you go to the shops. But you have to do something to discharge those frustrations. But then you start to feel bad because you weren't nice. So you go back into nice mode. But there's a problem here because you're nice and you hope that because you're nice, people will respond and be nice back. And that doesn't always happen with a partner. A partner has chosen you because you're nice. It's what he expects. So when you're nice, it's ordinary, he doesn't have to appreciate it. And when you go into one of your frustrated moments, it's sort of, what's going on here? That's not the way she behaves. So you're not getting heard. And that's why frustrations build up. And that's why people nag and they get angry, and there's increasing conflict in marriage that doesn't get resolved. So I'd like to share with you a story from my own experience, which might give you some idea of how you can do something different. When my daughter was 9, we went out to get a dog. Now, my husband wasn't a dog lover particularly, but we'd spent months working on him, and he said, yes, we could have a dog, and we were so excited. And the day finally came when we were driving out to meet that puppy for the first time. And my daughter was in the back of the car going, yeah, puppy, puppy. And I was sitting there, my heart beating with delight, and driving along, and my husband suddenly said, I don't want a bloody dog. Now, my husband's word was law in the relationship, Annie. So if he said no dog, he meant no dog. My daughter dissolved into floods of tears. My heart sunk to my boots. And I had to think what to do before he turned the car around. And anger, hissy fits, tears, pleading, cajoling were all out of the question. But instead, from somewhere inside me that I hadn't even expected, this little voice came out and said to him, you know, you can be part of the problem or part of the solution, but we are getting that dog. And I remember my husband's driving along and his jaw dropped open and no sound came out. Eventually, his look changed. He looked really quite puzzled, and he said, okay, so what had happened there? What had I actually done? Without realizing it, I had created an entirely different way of looking at the situation. Instead of him being the lawgiver, suddenly, by using the language of problems and solutions, I'd taken him into the role of problem solver. So he dealt with the situation entirely differently. Nagging wouldn't have worked, anger wouldn't have worked, tears wouldn't have worked, cajoling wouldn't have worked, but doing something different created a different result. So this is something we can always learn to do at any point in our life, because when you start doing something different, that's when you create a different response, because it makes people stop and think. So there are two things that I'd like you to take from this video today. 1, stop being so nice. It doesn't serve you. And number 2, put what you want to say in a different language and you will get a different result. So if you've liked this video, do leave a comment and look forward to some more cool stuff from me, because in my next video I'm going to tell you how I created that moment that allowed me to say, you can be part of the problem or you can be part of the solution.